Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Timm. Thanks for watching today's video. As you can see behind me here, we've got all my ice fishing stuff strewn about the garage. I'm sure a lot of you have similar looking spaces where all your gear's all over. It's the end of the ice fishing season, and what we're gonna go through today is some of the tips and tricks that I've learned over the years to get everything put away so that it's nice and ready to go come fall. I like to call this time of the year summerizing your ice fishing gear, and we're gonna jump right in. Getting all my shacks set up out here to air out. I hosed them off where they needed to be hosed off. We'll start over here on the hubs. So the biggest thing on these hubs is open them up, get them set up in your yard. If you have the windows that Velcro open them up, get a little extra airflow, open all the doors, empty the nets that you have above head. You also want to make sure that along the skirt you have that extended all the way around the house as well, just to make sure there's no debris or mud or sand or dirt or anything in there. This one I needed to hose off quite a bit. Again, the skirt is out. I've got the door propped open. And inside of these, a couple things you want to pay attention to. One, if you have the poles, I haven't put them up in this one, but put the poles up inside of the shacks. The goal here is to figure out, do I have a bent pole? Do I have a plastic piece that's breaking? Like on this one, for instance, I've got some hardware starting to rust. I'll probably take those off, swap them out with some stainless hardware. I'll at least get them on a list. Even if I don't do them right now in the spring, I'll have a list so that way when I'm getting ready for ice fishing, I know everything that I gotta do as fall comes around. But other things you want to look at your canvas. Do you have burns? Do you have rips? Do you have anything like that? Check all of that out. Check out your wiring for all of your accessories. Clean out your tubs, right? Take a little vacuum, take your hose to it, use a rag, wipe it out. If you got, fish slime and guts and stuff like that, get all that cleared out of here. Get all your sleds out. Get these things outside, aired out, dried out. Check out your chairs, sit in them, twirl them around. Now's the time to identify the broken stuff that's on them. Top off all your auger batteries. Make sure you check the blades on your augers too. So if they are chipped, if they're worn, if they need to be sharpened or replaced, if they're rusted, you've got bolts going on them, tighten them all down this time of the year. If you need to get that stuff done, now's the time. Don't wait for the fall rush and not have an auger for the first time out on the ice. Clean off the screens on your fish finders if you have the digital screens. If you have the Vexilars or the Markhams or any of the dial style, clean those off as well. Wipe them off so that they're good to go. Top it off. Charge all of the batteries that you have. And then for units like this is my whole hop unit. I don't use this at all other than ice fishing. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna just unplug from the battery, the positive and the negative. Even though it is switched, better safe than sorry. Disconnect from the battery. That way I'm good to go. And I know that this battery is already charged and topped off. It'll sit all season, and come fall, I'll top it off again and I'll be good to go. If you do have a fish finder where you have waypoints stored in it, now's a great time to back up those waypoints and those hot spots. Get them onto your phone. If you have an app that you use, get them onto your head units for your boat or whatever else that you use, so that number one, they're backed up, and number two, you can hit some of those spots come open water season as well. Go through all of your gear, your warm gear, your cold gear, hats, gloves, mitts, face masks, extra socks that maybe you had packed. Get your bibs and your jacket out. Give everything a nice good wash. Check the tags if you're unsure how to wash. Make sure all the zippers are zipped up. I make sure everything, of course, is empty, but I zip all the pockets up. I zip all the sides up. Anything that's Velcro together so it doesn't snag any of the clothing that you have that's in there. Buckles should be buckled if you have those. And then what I do is I throw all of it into the washing machine as long of a time as I can on just a cold water cycle. And all I do is I just put regular laundry detergent in. Once it's done, I hang everything to air dry. It's the heat of the water and the heat of the dryer that will do a lot of damage to it. Throw it in a bag, throw it in a box or a container, put it away for the year so that it's fresh and clean and ready to go when you take it out in the fall. Wipe off my heaters. I get them in these nice little bags. I've got a buddy flex and a portable buddy that fit perfectly in here. And then the hose to hook up to a 20-pound propane tank. What's great about that is when I go to pull this out at the beginning of next year to use one of these, the hose is right on top that I need to use for them. And then in the other bag, I've got my big buddy. So zip those up. Those are protected from dust and debris and crap getting all over inside of them. The 1-pound tanks, all my brand new ones, I leave the caps on so that I know these are full ones. And then I've got some partials as well. So all the partials don't have the caps on them. I don't refill the tanks, put them on a shelf, put your empties towards the front so you can use those up. And then all of your other propane tanks that you have, go through each of them, top them off, fill them up if you need to, or if they're full, just get them stored away so you can use them for grilling out or going to the beach or whatever you want to do with them. One tip that I have on this is if you go to some place like U-Haul, they will top off all the tanks for you and you only pay for the amount of propane that they put in the tank. So if you have one and you're like, there's probably only, you know, a little bit of it gone, if you don't mind loading them all up, if you for sure have some that need to get filled, top them all off. They're only going to bill you for the propane that they put in the tank. If you are like me, you've got a couple different bait buckets that you use for minnows. Rinse out the bucket, get the aerator and the stone, if you can, disconnected so that way the hose can leak out the water that's in it and kind of dry out over the season. Of course, if you use them open water, you're going to be using it again soon anyways, but try to get all that out. Try to wipe all the fish slime and stuff out of there. Wipe everything down really nicely. Again, make sure that the hoses are disconnected from the bubblers. If you have the clam lithium aerator, make sure that you charge them up and never seal these things all the way. I just like to keep them cracked so that way you've got a little bit of airflow going in and out. You don't get that musty mold, mildew, or humidity issues at all with it. So both of them are like that. And then lastly, bait pucks. So I use waxies year round. So I can go ahead and keep them. I put on here the temperature to keep them at. So waxies, the ideal temperature to keep them at year round is 50 to 60 degrees. If you're not going to be using them year round, make sure you empty them out. I'm sure there's quite a few people that have been watching this where you have found bait pucks in your gear the next year, and it is pretty disgusting, or you have flies or you have other things in there too. So dump them out if you're not going to use them. I use these bait pucks for crawlers, waxies, you name it. They're leeches, they're great for that. Just a quick check-in here. If you're getting value out of this video and you like this content, please hit the like button. It really helps out the channel and it helps me out. So thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you for watching up until this point, but hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Next tip is on your jigs and your spoons. Open them up, pull them out, make sure that you don't have any water sitting in them, that they're fully dry, so that way you don't have rust and a mess. Make sure they're organized and not tangled up. Rods, reels, and your full setups. What I recommend doing is taking all of the line, the jigs, the tension off of all of your rods and reels. You don't want to leave those fully loaded throughout the hot season for months on end. It could actually damage the rod. If you leave tension on the drag system, it can actually cause failure and wear on those parts, so don't do that. Get them organized and put away. Make sure that you can have a secure place for them. If you don't have enough rod boxes, just put them in a large clear container so that way they're not getting bent or banged around. Put everything in containers. I use these these are cheap, tough box containers. These you can get at Costco, at Walmart, at Fleet Farm, Menards, Home Depot, wherever you go. They're big enough to be able to store a lot of stuff in them. Everything from your rope to your little shovels, your rod holders. You can store all of your gear inside of these, throw them up in the attic, put them on shelves or wherever you want. The last one is a racking system. Make sure you've got a place to store the stuff off the floor if you can. All right, everybody, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you like this type of content, please hit that like button if you got value out of it. It really helps me out and lets me know to keep making this stuff. And as always, until next time, take it easy.